Welcome to IMD's Industry Insights. We'll be right back. Before we get started, I wanted to remind you to hit that like button. And also, if you want to subscribe to our podcast, hit that button down in the bottom right corner there, and that'll get you subscribed. We do appreciate you being here. Let's get started.
I'm Dean Christensen, the third generation of Cyclone ATTCO Skyhook, if you will. It started with my grandfather back in '69. He was a tool and die maker, brilliant, self-taught machinist, almost engineer, worked at the shipyards through the war, and he was working on a project in his own machine shop and had a job come in that required lifting large objects into the lathe and needed to come up with a solution. Prior to that, he had several patents that he had filed, and one of those was a clutch mechanism. When my grandfather designed the brake using his clutch patent, that style of brake allows for precision lowering of the load. So you can come down as gentle as you possibly can with a load onto a sensitive surface and be able to set it down softly. So you can handle expensive equipment, you can handle loading onto a granite surface on a CMM to high-end components that you don't want to drop. So it's not stuck between clicks. It's very precise on our lifting. And that's all part of his original patent back in the 60s. And he incorporated that patent into a lifting device for this particular project. And he just kind of roughed it together and made something that he could use. And he put it right on the tool post on the lathe. And one of his neighboring machine shops came down, saw what he had. It was a good friend. He said, "I got to have this." And he literally took it back to his shop. So my grandfather had to build another one. And at that point decided, I need to make these. We're going to tool up. Well, being a tool and die maker, made all of his own tooling, stampings, everything that's needed, and proceeded to take the next few months to bring this up to an actual product. And that was the very first unit, the dovetail style quick change tool holder base. It was the 8500 and from that point forward, he built those and sold them to typical tool houses at the time, the raw mics and the tool houses that were selling to the machine shop. Generally, the manual machine shops were the biggest customers. And that worked for many years. One-man shop, occasionally 2 or 3 people producing. He started in Compton, California, so he had a huge market down there in the LA area. And then he's decided that he's had enough of the big city life. So he moved his entire operation in the 70s to San Diego County up in the mountains. We shipped out the product, so it really didn't matter where we were located. And he did that for several years. My dad had worked other places, and as my grandfather got older, my dad jumped in, and he eventually took over the business. And in that process, we had moved to Arizona for a few years and then came back to California in the 80s. And my dad, during that time, had added another product, which is 8527, which is the taller unit with a bolt-down base. And we built those. I was building those when I was in high school. And when we moved back, my father was a one-man shop. Again, he would have a little help. I worked with him in the evenings. I had other jobs. And he would be getting contacted by customers, fairly large, well-known names, asking for specific custom units. He said, well, if you send me a print, I can build it. And that was really the start of our customizing. Up to that point, everything was all the same. So from that point forward, we started listening more to what the customers wanted and making a couple of custom units. My father ran that for many years, probably 20 years. And his health started to deteriorate. So my wife and I decided, okay, I will quit my job. And I had a very nice job. I enjoyed it very much. But came in and took over the family business. And my wife handled the sales and marketing side of it and the office side. And I handled the manufacturing. Again, one-man shop. Fortunately, I was blessed with two sons, Thomas Christensen and Christopher. And Christopher being the oldest, he jumped right in and was helping out in the shop, picked up welding like it was second nature. And Thomas jumped at age of 14. He was doing AutoCAD 14.
Wow.
And self-taught, just read the book, and brilliant in what he does. And so we decided to add some product. We needed to get past the manual machine shop into general material handling. That's would broaden our market. So again, listening to our customers call in, asking special requests, different things, we came up with a mobile base, which is our first 8557. It's the cross base style. And shortly after that, we came up with which is now our most popular model, which is the 8570, the blue cart that allows you to push around, counterweighted, very versatile, works great in a lot of applications, including CNC shops. So unfortunately, our facility in California was small and our product kept getting bigger. So we needed to expand, and our circumstances there wouldn't allow us to expand. So we actually moved to Idaho. We are now outside of Boise, Idaho. And we are in a much larger facility, still manageable. And we have been able to expand our product line based on our customers. The one thing that hasn't changed since when my grandfather started and my father ran the business was the level of quality. We're all craftsmen. It's like having the best of the best on the shop floor. Everything was done exactly perfect every time. The welds, the design, the brake, everything works great. And as we've grown, that has been my challenge. That has been my mission, is to not lose that level of quality, that attention to detail, the cosmetics of the product along with the functionality of the product, including in every design that we come up with, that quality maintains the same. Our customer service, we make more friends in this business than we do customers. I think our customer service is top notch. We make sure that we listen, and that's really been the key. We listen to what the customer's looking for, and then we have a variety of tools in our toolbox to get them what they need. And we can't fix everybody's problems. We can't fix every lifting solution, but we definitely give it our best shot and come up with some really great designs. This product is obviously made in the USA. We make sure that we buy as much as we can made in the USA. But with changes through the industry, through the years, we've had to bring in a lot of the operations in-house as we've grown, which has forced us into our own CNC machine shop, purchasing large 110-ton punch presses so we can do our own stampings, so on and so forth. We've been forced to kind of bring that in, but that gives us a total control on lead times and quality, so we can maintain across the board, everything stays exactly the way we want it. Right now we're currently working on our third generation. I still have both of my sons working here. Christopher has started his own business on the side, so he is here controlling and monitoring manufacturing. But Thomas has stepped up and has just excelled in the design end of our business. And also runs the production, the facility itself, throughout the building, making sure everything's scheduled, the designs are correct. 50% of our business today is custom. So it takes a designer on staff to keep that rolling, but we pride ourselves in being able to pivot and make changes, and our production line is designed to not only do our standards flow through like a normal production line, but also throw in a super custom special modification and it flows right through production. So that works really well, and allows us to meet our customers' needs in a timely fashion.
My name is Thomas Christensen. I am the VP of Design here at Skyhook. I'm fourth generation owner of the company. It was my great-grandfather's company, and my brother and I are now operating the company today and have been for the last 20 years. Most lifting injuries happen not necessarily because of how much is being lifted, but how it's being lifted. And since the late 60s, when my grandfather designed the first Skyhook, down to the very custom units that we're making today, our mission and our focus has really been on meeting the customer at their need to prevent those lifting injuries, those awkward, hard to reach loads, and to make sure that they can do it easily, safely, and simply. Our core focus is really to make a manual lifting device that an operator actually wants to use. A lot of that comes from breaking it down to a unit that's not complex. It's not a big overhead hoist that is hard to operate or requires certification. This is a simple, easy to use device that lifts something comparable to what an operator would attempt to lift themselves. And our goal is to prevent them from, or to offer them a solution that allows them to lift safely and not necessarily with their back or with their arms, and prevent those injuries. Since my parents took over in the 90s, we've added a lot of models to better suit the industry. We focused deeply into ergonomics in the early 2000s, and today we focus heavily on customization, allowing our customers to basically drive our design so that when they provide that insight as to what solutions they need to solve their lifting problems, we come in with a very comprehensive solution, very talented and technical design team and a sales team that can come in and meet them exactly at their need. Our focus is really to understand and bring their complex situation down to a much more simple solution so that we can provide them with a lifting device that their operators will actually use. We have a deep family legacy, and with that has come kind of a generational focus on craftsmanship. From the first Skyhook that was developed by my great-grandfather, his focus was not just on making a solution, but making a great solution, a solution that was designed like artwork and really thought out so that the operators, feel like it's another extension of themselves, so that they can use it every day and not feel like it's a cumbersome solution. And today we take that to the next level. We develop all of our Skyhooks in the same manner. We haven't compromised our vision or our values, and we still provide those solutions today in a custom, unique way that fits industries such as semiconductor, aerospace, manufacturing, M&R, and many others. So it really has expanded, but we've kept our core values and our focus back on that same mission from the late 60s. With our focus on customer application and our focus on customizing the Skyhook to best fit those applications, we have found that being a USA-made company and in-house manufacturing allows us to pivot quickly to meet those customer needs. as opposed to having to work remotely or with third parties. When a customer has a very specific request, we can act fast, and we can turn that around in a very competitive and timely manner.
So my name is Dusty White. I oversee sales as well as customer service here at Skyhook. So I've worked here at Skyhook for nearly a decade now. In fact, end of August, it will be a full 10 years that I've been with the company. I actually have known the Christensen family for over 2 decades now, and you couldn't ask for better people, either to be friends with or employed by. The focus and the dedication that they have to maintaining the legacy, that is Skyhook. We're on 4th generation, and what's really neat is now we're on to kind of 5th generation as well. I see Thomas's daughters out working in the shop at times, and I see Christopher's sons, out kind of running around doing their thing as well. So it's really neat to see the progression and the commitment, that the business has to, or the family has to the business, and keeping that legacy and that generational handoff, if you will, alive. Working with them for so long, you get to see their dedication to the quality of not only the product that they're manufacturing, but the entire process from when the first phone call comes in and you have the interaction with either myself or one of my team, the commitment to make sure that every interaction that you have is absolute top notch. Any questions that you have are being addressed immediately. If you send in an email or a request from the website, it's being addressed in a timely manner. You're not being shuffled around or waiting 3 days, 4 days for somebody to get back with you. It's an immediate response, so their dedication to quality and the product that we produce, we mirror that on our side and the experience that we give to our customers. Making sure that we have a full scope understanding of their application, of their requirements, the lead up to the lift that they're performing, and the lead, after, or the actions rather, after they perform that lift. We find a lot of lifting injuries will occur simply because there's a lack of a solution, or there's the lack of a ready solution available, right? So you get 2 or 3 guys together and you're trying to make a lift. It's heavy, it's awkward. It's all about time. You're trying to crank out as much product as you can in a timely fashion and maintain operational efficiencies. That sometimes the safety aspect of things kind of gets lost a little bit. I will say that there's been a huge focus on safety and specifically ergonomics in the last 5, 10 years, 15 years. And it's really awesome to see that these companies are stepping forward and looking for better ways for their employees to work. Making sure that when Kevin goes home at the end of the night, he's not suffering with a lower back injury that's going to make it to where he can't pick up his grandkids or play with his grandkids. Where the Skyhook fits into that, we offer a lightweight, portable, ergonomic solution that is perfect for a variety of different, lifting situations. Be it working in the sub fabs at one of our semiconductor customers, or one of the laboratories that are stationed around the country. Aerospace industries. I mean, you name it. Really, there's in any industry, in any business, really. There is an awkward lift that's being performed that the Skyhook can step in and enhance that situation, protect the employee, but also maintain operational efficiencies. So we offer several different brake styles here at Skyhook, but by far our most popular is going to be our load lock clutch brake system. It's amazing because we're machining all of those components for that Weston style clutch brake in-house. We're able to hold those tight tolerances and offer a terrific product. It's very simple to operate. In fact, the simplicity of the operation is one of the caveats that a lot of our customers will come to us for. You crank it up to go up, you crank it down to go down. While the operator is operating the Skyhook with his right hand, the left hand is steadying the load and loading it into fixtures, are very tight areas where, gosh, if you scratch, anything, the coating on some of these things can be $60, $80, $100,000. And so you want something that's exceptionally precise. Hand electric is just not going to get it done. The manual approach and being able to, quickly and easily take hold of a component and know as soon as you put your hand on the hand wheel that you're in complete control. You have very easy operations when it comes to that, and straightforward operations. So since the Skyhook was actually conceptualized and brought to market, we've been an American-made product, and that's really awesome to stand behind. We've been in business over 50 years. We source American, we build American. You know, our operations, they're just outside of Boise, Idaho, and from here we ship our products all over the world. But the pride that we take on being an American-made component, you know, people can walk up to us at trade shows or, you know, while we're out in the public, and they've, you know, I've seen the Skyhook. Yeah, I've worked with you guys in the past. You know, I have one in my shop. That is a fine build. That is a fine made, you know, piece of equipment, and it's all done, you know, right here in the States. So we take pride in offering, you know, a quality component that we control in-house. We make sure that before it leaves, it meets not only ASME standards, but it meets our standards as well. It was a benchmark that was set by Edwin Christensen when he first brought it to market, and that benchmark has been passed down, you know, through various, you know, different generations, and you know, we make sure that we honor that. So my team and I take a lot of pride in, I think it's been said, you know, meeting the customer where they're at. You know, a lot of times they will call in and they'll have an application in mind. They know that they need a lifting solution, but they don't know what we offer, you know, completely full scope as far as a custom solution goes, or how they need to go about doing it. So we take a lot of pride in taking that customer and guiding them through, you know, the entire process of, you know, okay, what are you lifting? How do you need to go about lifting it? How often are you performing the lift? You know, what's it weigh? What are some of the opportunities that you're seeing, you know, right now, and how would you like for them to be overcome? You know, we like to ask a lot of questions. Imagery is fantastic. They say, you know, a picture is worth 1,000 words, and it certainly is. But, you know, we want to make sure that when the customer interacts with us, they know that we're able to offer a comprehensive and economical and an effective lifting solution. Before we ever cross the T's or dot the I's, you know, we want to make sure that they have full confidence in the solution that we're offering. And, you know, we simply do that by actively listening to our customers, listen to their aches, their pains, and then making sure that we offer an effective solution. And my team is the best at it. So if you're coming up against an awkward, a challenging, you know, lifting solution, and you need to get something that's in place that's effective, economical, as well as easy to use and straightforward, definitely feel free to reach out to us. You can contact us at www.skyhookmfr.com. Our phone number's on there, as well as a website submission where you can send in your application's details, and we'll reach out to you immediately and we'll get you a solution in place.